You ever wonder where anxiety comes from? I mean, what is it? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Well, I've got a slightly different point of view than some others about anxiety, and I want to share it with you. Maybe you've never quite thought of it this way. Anxiety is almost always a result of thinking about the future, okay? It doesn't have to be 10 years from now. It doesn't have to be 6 months from now. It can be 5 minutes from now, or it can be the other. It all depends. The point is, with anxiety, we are always future focused. It could be 10 seconds. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're thinking about something that might happen in the future. And because we can't know what that's going to be for sure, we don't know how to respond. How do you respond to the future when you can't know what it is? There's only one thing in this world that makes people more anxious than death, and that's not being in control. If you don't think you're in control of your life, you are going to be an anxious person. And realizing that you have no control over the future makes people very, very anxious. So why do we do it? Why do we think about it now, why do we spend so much of our life thinking about the future? Or conversely, thinking about the past? Now, the same concept holds true with the past as does with the future. When we think about the past, quite often what we think about are things that we regret, things we have remorse over, things that make us sad, losing loved ones, relationships ending unexpectedly, and things that were done to us that were harmful, and we have resentments and whatnot. The point is, when we think about the past, we tend to think about bad things that happened to us or that we did. And what does that do? Makes us depressed. So, think about it. If you spend a good part of your life thinking about the future, you're making yourself anxious. If you spend a good part of your life thinking about the past, you're making yourself depressed. So, what do you do about it? How do you combat that? Well, there's a solution, and the solution is very easily explained, but it's very difficult to do, and people spend an entire lifetime practicing. And what we're talking about is staying fully present right here in this moment. This is the only place. Number one, it's the only place that's real. Your past is gone. Your future hasn't arrived. What's happening in this instant is the only thing that's real. And if you can force yourself to start to recognize when you're thinking about the past or when you're thinking about the future and say, stop, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come back to right now, and I'm going to just think about all the things that I have to be grateful for right now, and I'm going to stay here as best I can. And when I catch myself starting to wander, my mind's drifting off, as soon as I recognize it, I'll bring my thoughts back into right now. And when you think about it, there's really not much difference between that and meditation. So mindfulness, meditation, staying in the present, all of those things will help you lower the amount and intensity of your anxiety. Now, there's another little trick I want you to know about. If you have a thought, let's say all of a sudden you have a thought about something that makes you really happy, okay? You think about it, it makes you happy, but then what happens? that thought disappears. You can't hold that thought in the present moment. It appears, it's there for a few seconds, and then it's gone into the ethers. Same thing with anything that makes you sad, anything that makes you anxious. Observe it. Next time you feel anxious, observe the feeling, observe the thought. And I dare you to be able to hang on to it more than a couple of seconds. Now, what you can do is rethink it, but that's what you're doing. You're recreating the thought. It's not the same original thought. That thought is gone, okay? There's an old expression that says you can never put your feet in the same river twice. I guess you can see the meaning of that. The river's always changing. You put your feet in it today and you come back tomorrow, it's different water, it's a different river. So it's the same way with our thoughts. You can choose to let go of a thought. You can't stop it from coming into your head, that's true. Nobody can do that, but you can make a choice. When you see it, when you become aware of it, you can make a choice. You can say to yourself, I'm going to observe this thought until it disappears. And then I'm not going to reinvent it. I'm not going to feed it. I'm not going to make it come back. I'll just observe it. It may be unpleasant, may be very pleasant. Who knows? Principle's the same for either one. So, I want you to try that, okay? Think about that. You know, there's an expression that says we became lost in thought. And that's a very telling expression when you think about it. What does that mean, lost in thought? Well, my interpretation of that is we're thinking, but we don't know it. We are so accustomed, our brains are thinking 24/7, half the time, maybe more. We can't even tell you what we're thinking about. We don't even know ourselves what we're thinking about. Our brain's working. We don't know what we're thinking. When you say you're anxious, and I say to you, well, what are you so anxious about? I don't know. I'm just anxious. Well, what were you thinking about to make you anxious? I don't know. I was just here and I'm anxious. So what you have to do is work with that. Ask yourself, what am I thinking about? What are these thoughts that are causing me anxiety? Now, there's a lot more work that comes after that, but that's the first step, okay? The first step is becoming conscious, becoming aware of the fact that you are thinking, okay? A lot of people are thinking and they don't know it. They just don't know it. They go through life kind of as a zombie. And if you do that, you're not going to have any control or any manageability over your emotions. You will just be a slave to whatever you're thinking, and it will dictate to you what kind of a day you're going to have. Most of us don't want that. Most of us want to have some sense of control in our life. So I've given you quite a few things to think about there, and I'm going to come back in a couple of days and kind of pick up here where I'm ending, and we'll talk some more about anxiety. There's a lot to know about it. Older folks tend to either have a lot of anxiety or they just don't have much at all. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot in between. So I'm going to go now, and I'll see you real soon, okay?